And looks like we are live on YouTube. And today we'll be live on Facebook as soon as I hit the start button. Good morning. It is, my name is David, and it is April 13th. And every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. Some really special things going on with this Small Business Saturday, and we'll learn about those in a moment. And we are live on Facebook. It's been a while since I've been live on Facebook on this computer. So it looks like the lighting is okay. And on this computer, we are live on YouTube. So good morning. As I was just saying to the YouTube folks, every Saturday is Small Business Saturday. It's been that way for me for my entire life because I am a third generation small business owner, and we had to work. It was just part of the life. So this last week was especially, well, first of all, before we get started about what happened in the week, today is my youngest son, Sam's 36th birthday. And I sent he and his brother, Jordan, this morning, about 1 o'clock this morning, I sent them both an email because Jordan's birthday, he is my oldest son, his birthday was on Tuesday, his 37th birthday. So my sons are 369 days apart in age. And so happy birthday, Sam, and belated happy birthday, Jordan. We have more April birthdays coming up in our family too, so I've got to stay on top of those. So, I don't know if it was just last week. Yes, I guess it was pretty close to last weekend. Somehow, I reconnected with Sarah Davis, and Sarah, if you are watching, good morning. Sarah was, I've had I've been very blessed in my life as a publisher. I have had at least a half a dozen graphic designers who were involved in the publishing things that I was doing. And every single one of them delivered exactly what I wanted, as close to 100% of the time as possible. I've been very blessed to be able to say that about the folks that the graphic designers that I've worked with. Sarah, well, when we first connected, I thought it had been literally 50 years since we first got together, and she reminded me that it really wasn't. It was 49 years. And so when Sarah first started working with me, actually that was The first publication she and I worked on together, uh, it was called the Stark Jewish News. And I'm not sure. I think the name Stark Jewish News still exists in Ohio. I'm not. Yeah, it does. It does. However, it is now owned by the community, and I and Elaine, who I sold the publication to, were the last independent publishers, almost in the entire country. Very small number of independent publishers, Jewish publishers in the country. Most of the publications were owned by the communities themselves. And at any rate, Sarah, I'm not going to relate the funny line that you said to me as you went out into the marketplace and represented the Stark Jewish News to our wonderful, wonderful customers. Uh, I had wonderful customers in the Stark Jewish News in Canton. I had wonderful customers. Wow. Uh, 3 years after Sarah was 75, 3 years after we started working together, I shared with my dream of a magazine, which uh, we put together. We had a staff of 15 folks, a wonderful, wonderful staff. We actually we turned a profit on the 11th edition that we published, and to go from zero to profitability in 11 editions, we had a great team. Well, Sarah designed that cover now in Stark County Magazine. While she and her staff, I don't know how they worked over there. That we had I had two houses down on 6th Street Southwest in Canton, Ohio. One house I lived in, and I had the office, my office, and the other house totally was devoted to publishing and all the things that we did at the magazine. We had a dark room in the basement. We did a wonderful, wonderful job over there. They did. The folks, the staff were as good as there is. We created a lot of excitement in our community, and we were the first to have a 4-color featured magazine for sure. We spurred other efforts for that to happen after us, but we were the first. And as I just thought back, and I do not have, it's another story. I thought back about some of the stories that were written in the magazine, and I remember flying saucers over McKinley's Monument, the UFO story. Just a lot of great stories, a lot of great energy. Bill Mushi, our editor, was as good as it gets. I have never met personally never met an investigative reporter, if you will, someone interested in the real story, the facts of the story. No one I've ever met as good as Bill was, and I'm fearful of the challenge, the greatest challenge that I have seen today to my publishing, and I'm not what I call a traditional publisher anymore. All the publishing I do is digital, and it is an unbelievable world that we live in, with all the craziness that's going on. All the machine artificial intelligence I see every day in marketing and sales. That's really where I can judge it, because that's my expertise. But it's just amazing, and people who are supporting it, and people who are trying to sell it, market it, make some money on it. It's mind-boggling to me. But there was no artificial intelligence in Now in Stark County Magazine or the Stark Jewish News. And actually, I was laughing about that a little bit with Sarah. In the graphic design world, it must be havoc what the machine's doing. Oh, Sarah, do you remember I told you that my son Jordan actually had aspirations of becoming a graphic designer, and I told you I was looking for some of his artwork. This is a caricature, although it looks exactly like I looked at that year in those years. That was 1998. So Jordan was 11 years old when he did this. There's a wrestling theme to it. And there's a reason why there's a wrestling team. But he went on to, when he was a junior and senior in high school, he worked at the Kings Island Amusement Park. At that time, it was just a mile from our house, and did caricatures. Well, I'll end the story by saying a great parent story. A great parent story. Halfway through Jordan's first, whatever it was, a semester or a quarter at the Ohio State University, he called me up and said, "Dad, would you mind if I changed my major from graphic design to marketing?" And I had to laugh, and I said, "Why would I mind, Jordan? Number one, you I only know marketing and sales, so it would be fun to have someone in the family to chat about marketing. Number two, how much fun would it be someday for you and I to do a marketing project together, marketing sales project together?" That has not happened, but who knows? He's only 37 years old, and I'm only 75 years old, so we better hurry up if it's going to happen. And the third thing I said to him was that you have to commit to me that any test that you take, you will share with me, because I have never taken a marketing sales course in my life. So you would give me the academic answer to the question, and I would share with you my answer based upon experience, and we'd have some fun doing that. We did that for 1 year. We did do it for 1 year, and then Jordan got too busy, and I got too busy. But at any rate, today, Jordan, who had aspirations of being a graphic designer, went into marketing, and the very last quarter, his last quarter, interestingly enough, I never thought about that, his last quarter and semester, quarter, whatever he was doing, one of his professors said to him, "Jordan, you need to go speak with my husband." And Jordan took the advice of his professor, and he has not left the husband's business. and that was in 2009. And today he is Senior Vice President Strategy of that company. I mean, oh my goodness, a textbook story. So graphic designers have had a special place in my life for a long, long time, and it was fun re-meeting. And I've got to say that maybe two more graphic designers from now in Stark County will view this either not necessarily live, but they'll see a YouTube replay. Barbara Breckenridge and Gwyneth Anderson. They were on our team back then, and both I've connected with both of them, not personally, but texting and messaging and what have you. And I'm happy that Gwyneth has also taken on a new skill set. She likes to correct the way the way that I write things and do things. She said it's not right. So it's been fun with another graphic designer. So I also had, I'm not going to talk about it now. I hope something transpires, but through LinkedIn, I connected with a former business friend of mine from 1994. And we went back and forth, and I actually shared with him some things that he didn't know had going on with back in those years, because we were actually operating out of different cities, and so we didn't connect personally a lot, but we had fun this week, and I challenged him. I challenged him to collaborate with me and figure out how we can take the Celebrate Business Project 2024 Marketing Sales Value Experience. That's what we do. Into Omaha, Nebraska, where Jerry still resides. I once a month from 1994 until 1999, almost 1999, almost the entire year, I went to Omaha. It was about a 2-hour from Cincinnati Airport on a small Delta, a real small Delta plane, and 2-hour flight to Omaha, and spent a lot of time in Omaha over the years, and had good times out there. Good friendly folks. So the other thing I wanted to do today, I in the next couple months, I'm going to have new studios someplace. It is not going to be here. I have plans to leave Cincinnati, and so we're trying to figure out where I might go. 2 locations are Columbus, Ohio, where I have 2 grandsons, and Dallas, Texas, where I have 3 granddaughters. So I don't know which one I'm going to get. Well, that's going to happen. But at the same time, I plan to be in as many of the 387 metropolitan statistical areas of the United States as possible with the project. And so I will be doing a lot of traveling, and hopefully I've already told some Canton folks that when I come back to Canton, we will have an opening night party, open house celebration, dance, whatever. There will be a lot of fun going on that night. It'll be the Sunday night that I take the project into Canton. So Sarah motivated me. She didn't know it, but she did, to create a new direct mail piece. I have created zillions of direct mail pieces over the years, but now I had to create a piece that, well, obviously that tells a story, but as I've been trying to share the story of the project in Cincinnati, where I am, I have had a very difficult time. I know people are seeing things because of comments that I get, but very few people are responding to things that they should be getting. So I begin to wonder, are they getting, well, in today's world, to get to the folks that I am looking for, there's about 300 gatekeepers. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. What's never like that is 50 years ago, or 40 years ago, or 30 years ago. Maybe things started to change about 20 years ago. But I needed to get a piece that I knew that was going to get attention. And there's graphic design involved in the piece, because when somebody sees a piece, a direct mail piece, they or a direct marketing piece, it doesn't have to be direct mail, because I am actually going to physically deliver each one of these, making as sure as I possibly can that the person that I want to receive it receives it. So Sarah, here's what I graphically designed. Well, this is an envelope that I had used previously. I had a bunch of I have a couple cartons over there, so I said, well, let me see if I can use that and get my money's worth out of it. I hadn't used enough, so I came up with this piece, and my legacy story. You can't see it here. My legacy story is what I started, what got everything going, all the stuff that I'm doing about 3 years ago, when a friend of mine challenged me to tell my stories. She had been listening to them for at least 13 years in exercise classes. So I did, and I decided that at that time I was not going to write a book. I had already written a book. It's up on top, the green thing. I had already written a book. Well, there's a copy of it. In 2000, and I wrote it in 2007, and New Year's Day 2008, I announced that New Year's Day. I announced the book. Actually, here's a graphic designer that I had forgotten about, and I tried connecting with him. Andy has a design studio here in Cincinnati. Well, actually, we haven't spoken for many years, so I don't know if he's still doing it. He's still doing design work, because I've seen his name on LinkedIn, but we've never connected. At any rate, he designed this cover. I think I kind of designed the back part of the cover. Did you tell the difference? Well, at any rate, my legacy story was going to be publishing videos, producing videos, live streams, writing, posting. I post on Facebook regularly. I post on LinkedIn regularly, almost daily in both cases. And those are the two platforms that I have chosen as a publisher that I believe I can reach the folks that I need to reach in what it is that I'm trying to do. What are you trying to do, Dave? Well, at any rate, I'm actually going to have the envelope, maybe even paper clipped. Yeah, maybe I'm going to. I'm going to have it paper clipped to this envelope, and I'm not going to share. I know who it's. I know the industry that it's going to. I don't know the individual yet within each one of the individual businesses that I'm going to be contacting yet. That's my intellectual property, and B, I will protect the privacy of my clients for as long as it can remain private and protected. So inside the letter will be, inside the envelope will be a one-page letter that I have written. And it's a good letter, if I say so myself. And I will also include a card of some sort that this is, why am I doing all this? Why? Let's talk about it. And so this is the final thing that they have to look and view and respond to. So, Sarah, thank you. Thank you for reminding me that I needed to do something new and different. The final thing I wanted to do, as I am planning the move, I'm cleaning up. I've got boxes, and I have to categorize them, and I'm finding things that I didn't remember were there. And I wanted to share, and this is really for my grandchildren, because all five of them, Ari is the youngest, and he's going to be 4 in April next week. And my oldest grandchild is Eloise, and she's going to be 11 in August. But because we've lived in different cities, we video chatted. And so I was in this position, and all the stories that are going on behind me. And when Eloise was 7, she said, Grandpa David, what's an entrepreneur? She had seen the word entrepreneur behind me, maybe on my logo, which I'm going to talk about in a little while. But at any rate, she asked, and I gave her some answer. Well, I smiled, and I probably cried a little bit. I said, I gave her an answer that I'm sure she did not understand. But I did say to her, which she did understand. I said, Eloise, I will show you what an entrepreneur is. And so that was kind of the beginning of the project and all that we are doing. And So Eloise and Evelyn and Emery and Max and Ari, here I wanted to share with you some stories that you haven't seen because I just found them in boxes. You really can't see that when it's out of the view, but that is a big certificate, a big proclamation from the state of Ohio and Bob Taft, governor. It was in November of 2003. I was appointed by the governor to serve what ended up being a 3-year term on the state of Ohio Small Business Advisory Council. I made it very clear in the whole process that what I was doing was not political in nature. As a matter of fact, I was the only one, and I think our advisory council was probably about a couple dozen, but probably about 24 folks. They all were politically affiliated, and that's how they got appointed. I got appointed, I guess, for my expertise in marketing and sales, and at that time, healthcare. I was actually licensed to sell healthcare back in those days, but I didn't. My intent was never to sell it. My intent was just to better educate myself so that I could talk intelligently with small business about Medicare, about healthcare, which still today is a huge issue. As a matter of fact, to that point, my book had 5 chapters in it, 5 categories, of which there were X number of questions in each one of the categories. And one of the categories was healthcare, because that was a major concern. And as I was looking recently at the questions I was asking back then, aren't even necessarily pertinent anymore with all the changes in laws and everything else that's going on. And so I would have to eliminate that chapter altogether if I were rewriting the book, which I will not be doing. I'm doing it in a different way. I'm answering, I'm pretty sure, now that I think about it, there literally are 749 questions in the book. And I left a blank space purposely. It was designed to be a workbook so that the individual reading it would make a note and say, geez, I need to think about that for my business. So I need to call my accountant. I need to call my attorney. I know David. And that's how that worked. And it was designed that way. And it was an oversized book for that reason. It was 8.5 by 11, basically. Plus, it had a spiral binding in it, so it could lay flat. As I said, I found the printer. Matter of fact, Jack, who printed the book, manufactured the book, was on the Small Business Advisory Council with me. He was politically motivated. And so, one sidebar to Bob Taft as governor and the Small Business Advisory Council, he was actually, by survey, by polling, the least popular governor in the state of in Ohio's history. Not just by both political parties. It was a collaboration, bipartisan viewpoint. But I found him to be wonderfully engaging. He came to our meeting. We have them quarterly, and they were at lunchtime. And he came and he took his jacket off and rolled up his sleeves and took notes and asked questions. And we went to work. And he did a wonderful job in establishing a position for the state of Ohio with small business. It's always been um, a pretty good state to do business in. Uh, so that's what happened uh, with the Small Business Advisory Council, and it was a fun time. It was some of the folks on the committee advisory council were all really big and important folks, and so it was a big learning experience for me about the aspects of small business that uh, the only time that I have had collaborated with a staff of folks was back in it was a very, 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 very small staff with the Stark Jewish News, but we had 15 folks on staff at the magazine, at Now Stark County Magazine. And that's the only time in my life where I've had folks, I was writing paychecks for that many folks. And I never got one paycheck that year. It was a great, great time. As I was looking around the room, I told you about Sarah in Mount Stark County, Stark Jewish News, emerging business leaders to watch. That was about a third page ad. There were, I think, a dozen other folks, other emerging business leaders to watch. I had to pay for that. I paid handsomely for that, but it was a great decision. It was money well invested. The feedback, and that particular ad back then, for sure, ran in USA Today, because that's the reprint from USA Today, but it also ran in some other publications. You can only see the top of it right there. That's some work I'm very proud of. That was done in 1996. And that particular plaque was in recognition of one of the top 3 call center customer care environments in the industry. And that was a description of an environment that I created with a company called Globe Life. I am sure that at some time, and if you're a baby boomer for sure, at some time in your life, you were in a household that got a mailing piece from Globe Life Insurance, because when I was working with Glenn, they were the largest insurance company mailers in the country. They mailed 300 million pieces. So one of my great teachers for direct mail was Glenn at Globe Life, and all the things that they had to do very, very, very successfully. They built their insurance empire, and it is an empire. I have visited many, many times. The corporate offices used to be in downtown Oklahoma City. Now they are in McKinney, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas, where my youngest son has been living for almost 2 years now, and I've yet to go to McKinney, Texas. So Sam, if you happen to be watching, let's take a ride out to McKinney, Texas, and look for the offices of Globe Life Insurance. Actually, those offices, Globe Life is inside the building of Torchmark, the actual parent company of all their insurance companies, company called Torchmark. Very, very quiet company. You don't hear much about them, but they make a lot of money and have a lot of policyholders. They were the first ones to introduce insurance for your children and grandchildren. They were the first company to do that, and still today, they started it back in the mid 50s is when they started it, and they said you could start your policy for $1 today, and it probably is the most successful direct marketing offer of all time. Is that start your policy for $1 because they're still doing it. 70 years later, I don't know how long. It's a long time. So that's a project I did with Glenn in 1996. Actually, he and I did our last work together. It was in probably as late as 2003, 2000, probably 2005 was the last time Glenn and I spoke. I'll have to look up Glenn. All the other stuff I've talked about over there. One last conversation about the logo. Dreaming with entrepreneurs in the clouds. You can't see entrepreneurs, but dreaming with. And you probably can't really tell what that is, but it's a big yacht, a big ship, and Teresa was my landlady in a studio that I had in the basement of the ground level, below ground level of this big house that she had. And she was an artist, not a graphic designer, but a real artist. Well, I've reconnected with her on Facebook, and she has somebody representing her artwork now, just recently, maybe last year or so, in New York City. So we haven't connected live, but I'll have to visit my next visit in New York City. But we got to talking in overnight kind of thing. It wasn't long. Teresa came up with that as my logo, my branding, and it's still there. And I made her add the boat part because it's always been an entrepreneurial dream of mine to load a boat up with a lot of folks and cruise out someplace, not a long cruise, maybe 3 days out to 2 days back. I don't know. I haven't gotten into details. Short cruise, just a lot of it'd be a high energy cruise about small business, and that's a project that I maybe should get back into. We'll figure it out in the next 2 years. Next 2 years, that will be it's on my bucket list right now. But it's what my dreams are. It represents my dreams, entrepreneurial dream, and it was perfect. And she did deliver. I mean, she didn't tell me. I don't even know that she told me she was doing. She didn't tell me she was doing it. We were just talking about what I do, and she did it. So thank you, Teresa. But she got a lot of rent out of me, so that was okay. I think that's it for today. And thank you. Thank you for sharing a celebration of business. Every Saturday is Small Business Saturday, especially in my world. So thank you for coming in. And if you have any questions or comments about anything that you've heard today, the best way, it's getting a little and I'm actually going to be setting up some new web landing pages. I've got some domains in place that I wanted. I've got Squarespace wants to give me a free trial to set up a web landing page, and I'm going to take advantage of that. In the next couple of days, I'm going to have that page up. So that'll be a way to communicate with me. But my email address is dleopold@davidsbarter.com. Oh, I forgot. I have to tell this one. I'm sorry. This is a special story that anybody who followed me in my growing up years in Canton, this is a very special moment in my life for a lot of reasons. But believe it or not, I was a passive. I was really good, and of course I'm the only one looking at the camera in that picture. This was taken in 1967. It was the varsity team of the Canton Jewish Center, which was we played other Jewish center. We played a lot of local games, but ultimately we competed with other Jewish centers from around the country. And I am not sure. Well, this was a home game, so I can't remember who the team was, and it's not identified, but look who is getting the rebound, going up for the rebound. Look. And look who tapped it in. So those were obviously, those were fun years. I was a really driven. I had to be the first couple of years. In my early years, my father was my coach in baseball and basketball for 2 years at least that I remember, in each sport. So he drove me pretty hard. But in 1999, the Canton Jewish Center, who had for a long time has had a Hall of Fame award. In 1999, this is the award. It was presented to myself and my two brothers. And to my knowledge, and if anybody listening knows differently, I think we were the only three brothers to win the award together simultaneously, I think. And finally, this is a big deal, Ken. There was a proclamation. Actually, it was submitted by William J. Smuckler, Ward 9 council member. I see his name around on Facebook. So if you happen to be watching this video, Bill, thank you. But it's a resolution from the city council about the award. And what did they say about David Leopold played basketball, baseball, and football at the Jewish Center from 1955 through 1967. in 1960, oh, that was 66. I was a junior. I was named to the Midwest Jewish All-Star team. I do remember that. And he now lives in Cincinnati. Back then, director of insurance market development at Convergys Customer Information Management. So that's a special remembrance for that. There will be folks watching this that were there that night. I'm sure of that. JB, were you there that night? I'm sure you were. It was the brothers. I'm sure you were there. So thank you for now 49 minutes of your time. It's been fun. It is the reasons why I celebrate pride. I celebrate business, and I'm very, very excited about bringing the Celebrate Business Project 2024 marketing sales value experience into your community. Until then, enjoy your day. Facebook folks, that's not a great picture. I hope, wonder why it's, I don't know what I can do. I'd have to change it. Well, thank you for your time. I'm sorry for your picture. Although, well, who knows? We'll see you soon. Thank you.